Precious Gondi says, Jumbo, and good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. Margaret Wajohi says, good morning. Situation Room from Houston, Texas. That's where you are. It's great to be here early. Let's continue informing each other about important aspects of our motherland, Kabisa. Joe Magai tuned in this morning as well and says, Gen Zs, where do we have by-elections? I thought someone said we had seen a revolution. Okay, I'm not quite sure what your question is, but okay. Bonjour, mes amis, says Agola. Good morning to you. Eric Wars tuned in, says, good morning, guys. Good morning. Wabua Sami, good morning. You're asking what Jeremiah was saying in that particular interview? Well, Abdikadir Korane says, good morning. Abdikadir from Garissa, heartbreaking case in her Hagadera, when young Safia, who had just completed her Kejasea, was tragically raped, killed, allegedly by her own uncle. This is painful. Yes, it is unbelievably painful. It's tragic that we should still have things like this happening. Very, very tough one to then be able to even imagine. David Mangera says, good morning, Princess Ndu and Josephat. Thank you. Good morning. And the entire crew, Nikondani Kabisa, thanking God for another day. Ramtula, he said I should take honey and ginger. My friend, honey and ginger, I put it in an IV. I injected it into my veins yesterday, literally. And here we are. Let's see what happens. Bwangi Juma says, good morning. How are you all? We're doing good. Help us understand, even as we head to court, was ODM at 20 an election day? For who? Did you see people voting?
No.
Okay. I don't know.
But it sounded like there was a sort of succession politics.
Sindio?
Yeah.
That's clear. Dennis Utaka says, good morning. Beautiful from the Lakeside City. John K says, where is Diokari? He's off for some time. He will be back. Dave is speaking for me, talking to EVE. Sindio? Okay, now everybody's there. What's the word? Diagnosing me and prescribing things. Silver Fox Joe is what you've been called this morning.
Well, another nickname. It's a Tuesday, I told you.
It's a terrific one.
Hi.
Ginger, lemon, honey, hot water, those things are being said. Put it here. Let's go. The sisters, even Kaluma lozenges. Okay. Resist Tuta Mutuku says, good morning. Mombasa temperatures are crazy. I'm telling you, they are crazy. 40s in the 40s.
It's hot, huh?
It is hot. It's hot. Joseph Okondo says, good morning, tuned in. Where is the Iroko tree originating from in Nigeria? You want to know where the Iroko tree is? It is in the south of the country. Oh, you asked Aseto, but you forgot to ask me. Yes, the Iroko tree is in the southern part of the country. Sawa, under the Iroko tree. There's a story about that. Sanch Zamunda says, good morning, tuned in. Owen Emolu says, good morning, tuned in from Bomet. Boost the signal. Boost it to where? And Ayokeo says, good morning, tuned in. And Stanley Ogula is tuned in as well. Kenya 1. Good morning, gorgeous lady and wise man. Hey, I like these tags, man. David Mpile says, good morning, wonderful conversation, Situation Room. Keep it up, guys. Thank you so much. You're tuned in from Denver, Colorado. And I love it because you guys are going to bed, but you're still going to stay awake a little bit for us to have these conversations. Fantastic. So George Gashoridi says, good morning. Looking forward to a great show. Everybody seeping into the room this morning. Thank you for doing this when you do. So we have these conversations together.
Right. And yesterday, I realized someone had a birthday, and he's been a spicer. He's been in the hot seat for a while. I don't know if you wished them a happy birthday.
Who was that?
Jimmy Wanjigi.
It's Jimmy Wanjigi's birthday. It was yesterday.
It was yesterday. So everybody was listening to us. Kenyans, we greet people. We say, we salimia wow. It's good to celebrate people when they are alive. So,
why didn't you say yesterday? See, when I sang yesterday, I would have remembered yesterday.
Well, we can do a belated happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Jimmy Wanjigi.
Mm-hmm.
May the road rise to meet you, and may the wind forever be at your back. And may the worst of your todays be the best of your tomorrows. Jimmy, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I would sing, but I would sound a little bit scratchy today because my voice is not doing the thing.
Yeah.
But Jimmy, happy birthday to you. And thank you. All right. So, let's look into the headlines.
Yes.
We'll start on the front page of Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard. Hey, okay. I'm definitely going to need some ginger for this because police bribe rackets. A hard-hitting audit has laid bare a sprawling web of corruption at the heart of the police service, exposing a system where junior officers are handed daily cash targets and Kenyans are shaken down to meet them. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission report paints a picture of institutionalized extortion from matatus and border borders to bars and city traders, with officers threatened, transferred or framed if they fail to deliver. It details bribery cartels, compromise accident investigations, extortion rings, misuse of firearms, decaying infrastructure and gaps in training, revealing a security system weakened from within. Okay, sorry, but you knew this. We've known this.
Yes.
Have we not known this? We've heard about these things before. It looks as though the EACC is a little bit late to the party.
As always. As always.
But people have known this for a while. Yeah. Is it a good thing that now it's documented and that there's a report that they could then do something with? One would imagine that they've gathered and collected evidence over time and they've put it in this report. They're talking about 1,000 shillings per week is a protection fee demanded from each vehicle. Do your math, give or take. If on the route from Mombasa Road to the city centre, you have, give or take, 20,000.
That's 20 million.
In a day, my friend.
It's billions, we keep talking of pilferage. This is it. This is raw data confirming. And sometimes I wonder, we've been speaking about this all day. Yesterday we were talking about road safety. And you can see one of the consequences is that you have compromised accident investigations.
Tell me.
Because partly the police will not take responsibility, the authorities like the NTSA, and then they don't want the police don't to be hard on the would-be masters. So this tendency is not only costing us resources, but also lives.
But what is this protection fee, Joe? The protection fee is so that in the event that you mess up on the road, you will not be busted.
So you bail yourself up in advance?
In advance, every week.
So how are these police enforcing the law?
They're not.
And why even recruiting 10,000 more?
Now you're going to recruit another 10,000 police officers, get them into the system where this abject impunity continues on the roads.
Do they do a proper induction into this web of corruption to the recruitees?
I think by the time you're being recruited, you're aware of what happens in the thing. So you know what you need to do.
It's a sad story.
It's very sad. We'll look into the details of it. 200 to 1,000 shillings is what bribes are demanded per stop from matatus on the Ngong Road route. So from Ngong town to the city, how many stops?
Can you
One
imagine?
Vehicle. How many stops?
You
give 200 bob.
That's a physical inspection we were questioning yesterday. And you realize the key things that they're supposed to be doing are not done. Like right now, when you're exiting the expressway at the Likoni Road exit, they block the ETC exit, forcing you to use the risky one as you're coming to join the road. Because, there has to be a shoulder, a leeway for you to join the main road. So they block the one that safely gets you on the highway. That area is prone to accidents. And I know some have happened there. And you wonder why. It's an expressway. It's the ETC. You don't need anybody
You don't need anybody to stop you. That's the point. That you've loaded your thing. You should be able to, it opens, you move, you go.
Safely. We do have a leadership problem.
There's a leadership problem.
Yes, we have a leadership problem.
Top.
Yes.
From the top. Okay, so that story we'll look into in a bit. When things are happening and people are talking about where they're weighing money on scales and how people are getting 50 million shillings, in Marsabit County, just to the north, women are forced to trek miles as water sources are drying up. You would think that this would be something that over the years, did we just realize that Marsabit or any of the countries in the Assal, any of the counties in the Assal regions needed some attention when it came to water sources because this area geographically is prone to drought. But women are having to, and you know what?
Yeah.
The water that they're going to get is sometimes the color of that wall.
As the photo depicts.
Exactly.
As the photo depicts clearly. And you wonder, because water is a devolved function. The people of Marsabit have a governor, they have a senator, they have MCAs, and they have a whole budget. Money that was given from the national government to the county government, not just this year, but for the last 13 years. for the last 13 years, Marsabit have had a governor. Water is a devolved function.
Yep.
So even as we come out to say that, people focus on national politics, also the county governments need to be called to order.
I have a responsibility here.
Yes.
You've got budgets that
Yes.
this money is given every year. There's 420 billion shillings that's shared then among the counties. So you want to wonder, and this has, like you say, over 13 years.
Yes.
There's been a governor.
Yeah.
They've gotten a county budget. There's a senator. There are members of parliament. There are MCAs.
And you'll hear them giving bursaries and sponsoring people from Marsabit to go abroad to study full scholarships. Yeah. So,
This is another one we'll come and look into. Kenyans still seeking answers on kin missing after Darpol's chaos. There we see the picture there of human rights defenders during a media briefing. They're demanding the release of Kenyans. This was interesting because Samia Suluhu, in her first address to Parliament after she was sworn in
a
for
forest.
the term.
In a forest.
Yeah. She said she was forgiving she did not know that, there were other people in the country. She didn't know. And then when she was told, she said, I know this cannot happen. She also, for those in custody who had been held on charges of treason, she forgave them. And she said they need to be let go because they were obviously misguided. So then one must ask, those who are not of Tanzanian origin, who are still held,
Yes.
How about them?
And not just that. Remember, earlier, I think last week, we were served to a bold front page saying the Trinity of Terror. Because it's seeming to be common standard of practice, lip service from the Trinity of Terror.
Yeah.
A head of state will say one thing, his security men will say another thing, and then the real issue will manifest differently. It's a good thing you're questioning about those who may have been arrested, but there are those who were killed.
Yes.
Where are their remains?
Exactly.
And some of them are known to be Kenyans.
Yes.
So where is the Prime Cabinet Secretary?
I'm going to say one thing, and then
Right.
you can do that as you cannot judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree.
Say no more.
Okay.
Okay.
In other stories in the Standard, 10,000 recruits to join police service after 3 years of hiring freeze ends. And what are we letting them into when they begin this? Duale says 50 billion shilling new hospital project will be overseen by KDF. Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's laughable, yes.
Yeah.
I think anywhere Duale comes up, it's just laughable.
The EACC accuses MP Aladwa of grabbing 65 million shilling Buruburu land. Okay. They can accuse him, but are they going to do anything about it? All bark and no bite is the question. State machinery claims dominate Malava and Bere heated mini polls. We know that in about a week or 2 weeks, we go to the elections, the by-elections, that is. Gashagwa and 4 governors and 10 MPs on the NCIC radar. Another institution which sometimes, guys, come on the radar because of what? I dare say that perhaps there are other people who should be on the radar as well in terms of what they're saying during these political rallies. But who am I? Whomst am I? One other story looking to the Standard before you look into the Nation. Lawyer Muita in custody as police probe alleged terror financial link. This was coming out of the courts yesterday. It was we saw that early as in the early part of the afternoon.
Yeah.
And the question is, why him? And what is it that they're looking for? What connection do we see here?
Yeah.
They've asked to hold him for another 20 days. They've taken his phones, he's taken his laptops, and what connection he may have to those who've been charged with terrorism.
Let's see how that story develops.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the Daily Nation. Hacker's paradise.
Did you know that things were hacked for a minute there?
Well, they are clearly listed.
Yeah.
And I think this is just the beginning of it. And you know, as he says, the hacker's paradise, the threat. Cyber criminals yesterday made several government websites, including State House, inaccessible and defaced pages by altering their visual appearance and content in yet another major security breach, coming amid repeated warnings. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Amid repeated warnings by the Auditor General about system weaknesses, the attack exposes the state's laxity and puts the data of millions of Kenyans at risk. You know, some of those that are hacked is the KRA, KPLC. Was the attempt trying to buy tokens for Kenyans? I'm just asking.
Robin Hood, we don't mind Robin Hood.
Airport Authority, KAA, e-Citizen, and ministries and other departments. And you know, you see, it has built up from 2016 to date. That story continues on page 4 and 5. And what is worrying is that there has been a failing heed. The government has failed to heed to all the audit warnings. So it's not that they were not warned.
They were told before.
They were told this is coming, this could happen, your systems are weak, they need upgrade. And it's listed there 2022-2023. The Nairobi County, that's the institution. The issue was expired hardware and software, no longer supported by Microsoft, which were being used to operate revenue systems. So the question would be, have we lost any revenue silently? You know? Then another institution, 2023-2024, 39 NGCDF's issue. The issue was lack of an approved information technology system, training and support. You know, the comment, there was a risk. Internal controls were at risk. Yeah. So basically, they were warned. And again, I ask, when will we ever take institutional responsibility? Because these systems are meant to be upgraded, they're meant to be maintained. And I'm sure there is an annual budget of system maintenance or system development. That's interesting to see. Page 4 of the same says about the low turnout or disappointment that marked police recruitment drive. I saw a young man yesterday, he was very angry. He was trending, asking why he's being turned away. Initially, they told him to go join the NYS. He went, he did the training, he completed that. He came then for the police recruitment. They were saying he's a bit too short. And he was almost saying, the person who is telling me I'm a bit too short is shorter than me. Yeah. Then page 3 of the Daily Nation, there's a very inspiring story of a life-saving heart surgery that inspired a young woman to become a nurse. I think I saw that in the expose. And Maureen Cherotich, she's a 24-year-old nurse who works at the AGC Tenwek Hospital in Bomet County. She happened to have had a heart surgery when she was young, and she dedicated her life to helping persons who will be needing such. And she's doing a great job. It's quite inspiring.
Very, very.
Yeah. So she's gone ahead and to be a nurse in that sector. We have the page 5. Anti-counterfeit boss denies soliciting 5 million bribe from a foreign investor. That's an oxymoron.
Quite.
Right?
I don't know that they expect anybody to actually admit it and say, actually, you know what, yes, I did. I tried to solicit 5 million shillings. I tried, but it didn't. Do you expect anybody to ever say and admit that they did?
Perhaps only the chair of the anti-corruption or anti-counterfeit.
Maybe. You shouldn't be having such a conversation if you are right.
You know, some of these offices, there's what you call the ethos, you know, the ethos of practice. You get into a position that requires you to uphold certain values. Yeah, so interesting to see. Page 8.
Yep.
The one Siaya Governor, James Orengo, Minister of Entertainment, during the ODM Youth League Convention on November 14th, 2025. That's the photo, but the title says, "To Leave or Stay with Ruto. ODM's Difficult Choices." I think that is one of the conversations that will be ongoing until towards 2027.
For sure.
With the exit of Baba, he was the party was so huge, but now there seems to be divisions. We wait and see how it goes. I saw an interesting story to revisit the Bold newspaper, page 2. He says that bursaries disbursement to resume. That was in Kirinyaga. And as we were wishing the birthday boy happy birthday earlier, Jimmy Wanjigi, he says, should Kenyans find it fit to have him as the president, there will be no bursary disbursement because free education is coming back. So all this lining up women and sitting them down a whole afternoon waiting for a check of 2,000-3,000 for bursary.
From 3 a.m, they're sleeping at the council offices.
Will be a
on
day
the road.
Will be a thing of the past.
I've often said that there are too many funds. There is MP's bursary.
Yes.
There is county bursary coming from the governors.
Yes.
There is NGCDF. There is the president's fund. All of this money that comes in from women's rep NGAF, that money comes in. There's NGAF money that goes to collapse all of those things.
Yes.
Put it in one fund and let that fund feed directly. You have the money anyway. Let that fund go directly to schools.
Yes.
So that children stand up in the morning, they go to school. End of story. This thing that you want to use it as a political tool, that because I gave bursary and today I'm writing checks, and so then you're a demigod of sorts. We need to stop it. Because then what are we doing? There's some children who get, like you said, 1,000 shillings, 2,000 shillings, and it's supposed to cater for an entire term. Come on, we're joking around. And I keep pointing back to this thing. The true north is that if you want to develop, you cannot use these backward methods and you're saying you want to develop. And then what we're doing is that you're using this as a tool for your own expediency at the behest of children who are supposed to be going to school. No. Collapse the thing. Let nobody have any control over funds that are meant to be for education. Ring fence that one fund for education. Put it directly to schools and, in fact, bypass the ministry. Because these are the nonsense that they're telling us now. 87,000 ghost school students. I can't even say it. Collapse the thing, make it one fund. If you need to have an amendment whereby you insert a controller of that fund and knowing where it needs to go, that's what you need to do. Because all of this nonsense, can you imagine? People are trying to imagine, on a Tuesday, I'm going to wake up at 1 a.m. so that I can go and sleep outside the Kirinyaga County office so that you can come and give me 1,000 bob.
The first day you camp outside waiting to collect an application form, which you then submit if you're successful in getting one. Then another day will come where you have to repeat the same, be out by 3 a.m., be at the office by 2 a.m., whatever the time, and wait for a 2,000 check. I agree with you. We should collapse all this and make our education not just free, but also quality and accessible.
Absolutely.
Quality and accessible. Because we can do it. We have the money for that. Even when you look at the whole budget allocation, a third of it goes into management of that disbursement of the fund. So for how long are we going to waste our resources? Yet we continue to compromise the quality of our education. Or then should we simply just let the private sector drive the education system? But because we cannot do that, I agree. We collapse. Let's have a quality, free, accessible
because
education system.
We already know that this is an avenue for folks to steal. Let's just, what, if anything on this program, we can be honest that we know for years and years it has been an avenue for people to steal and to wield control over others. Now, because we know that, and that we know that folks who then slip through the cracks are the kids who are not then able to get what they need. For goodness sake, there was a woman who had a 33,000 shilling bill. She couldn't send her son to school. He could not sit the KHSA last month. So that's what we're talking about. Collapse the thing because we know people are stealing. Put some elements of control. Tighten the thing. Let's get it done. You know that there's a hole here. Block it.
Well, Jimmy Wajigi says he's going to take you back to that future. Well, finally, at the international front, page 22 of the Daily Nation, it speaks more about the Tanzanian protests, how Tanzania police crushed poll protests with lethal force. And we need to know where the Kenyans are. And next to that on the same page is the ousted Prime Minister of, Kenyan opened up a curriculum of we the people.
Right.
The fear is gone. The sovereignty. And the first cohort were the Bangladesh people. So they took all the way and they hosted their prime minister.
They wrote the exam, they stood and put the graduation cap and turned the tassel to the... Is it to the left or the right? I can't even remember.
And now she's been sentenced to death.
Can you imagine?
Because out of that, I think a lot of people died. We saw even some who got shot live broadcast. So that's a story to watch, because she says that was not fair. The government that sentenced her was not legitimate.
Oh, of course not.
But we shall see what the people want.
It's true. So let me tell you this story. So I just want to look at the headline on the Star real quick.
Yes.
And that in this whole ODM conversation, like you said, it's going to be a conversation that's going to take us well into 2027. And it is important because it's a big party. I hazard a guess that the interest that's being played out now, especially from the likes of the president for ODM, is not because, let's come together and work for Kenya. No, they have numbers.
Yes.
And politics towards elections are a game of numbers. So if you have the numbers and your would-be leader is no longer there, and I can already see that you people are playing dominoes with this party, what am I? I'm the person who wants to come in and take your numbers. I don't want to take over your party, but I can see that I can control you because you seem to be in a state of confusion.
Indeed.
2027 epic race, Ruto numbers against Kalonzo Gachagua. It is true that if the president was to get the upper hand by inheriting Raila's entire voting bloc, he would win the election. Well, that's what people are saying now. If ODM and their followers are able to fall by the wayside and they're picked up by Kenya Kwanza, those are the numbers that we're looking at. This is according to the headline in the Star.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it, and I know we're going to get into it later. But Kenyans must be careful of what we call psychological hacking.
I agree completely.
Because now they want to pose as these are the only options we have,
Exactly.
And that these are the people. The cream de la cream. It's
like the buffet. I keep saying about the buffet. When you when you go to a restaurant and there's stuff on the buffet, and they tell you there's chicken, it looks a little bit dry, there's some beef, maybe it's been there since yesterday, there's some other things there. Until the person who is serving tells you the truth that, hey guys, there's something fresher. But until you bring it out of the kitchen, you will not know. You will imagine that, let me make the best of this dry chicken and withered beef that is here, without knowing that there's a fresh thing just there.
Yeah. So we have to, this tunnel vision they're trying to have us into a tunnel thinking, to box us into thinking that it's either this, what they're calling opposition, or the incumbent. That those are the only options we have. I think Kenyans are brighter than that. I'm sure the people of Homa Bay have not forgotten about Albert Ojwang.
No.
They buried their son under this regime.
Yes.
And you see, that is now listed as a stronghold of the president. It doesn't work like that. We are woke, and we'll be voting on issues. Even Baba, whether we liked him or not, he stood on some issues.
This is true.
Yeah, so interesting.
It'll be interesting to look into that. I want to look into this police thing because, now that the EACC wants to behave as though this thing they've just realized it happened in August 2025. Let's just look into it just a little bit. It's carried on page 6 and 7 of the Standard. If you can't get yourself a physical copy of the Standard newspaper, you can get the Standard e-paper and then be able to read this story. Okay, so page 6 and 7, bribes, targets and threats. How police brass spearhead elaborate extortion racket. So, report reveals that junior officers who fail to meet money targets, risk transfer or disciplinary measures. So understand this. This money target is not so that we can build a police station. No. This money target is not so that maybe we can fuel the vehicles. No. This money target is that you give your superior, your supervisor money at the end of the week. Yani pesa ya fokoni.
Yeah.
A damning audit report has revealed how the National Police Service senior traffic bosses have given their juniors daily bribe targets. The report shows that the junior officers are then deployed to go out and harass Kenyans as they collect the desired amount. Failure to reach a target means the officers will either be transferred to hardship areas or face trumped-up disciplinary cases. The report by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission was initiated by Inspector General, interestingly enough, Douglas Kanja. The systems audit report revealed deep-rooted and organized corruption within the police service and was based on an audit conducted between February and June 2025, I told you, which aimed to identify systemic weaknesses and corruption loopholes. In February, I personally invited EACC to our office. This is according to Douglas Kanja, the commissioner, and this is what he said. I personally invited EACC to our office and commissioned the audit. We invited them and gave them all the support they needed. I wanted to know where the problem in the police service is and how to solve it. He added, the best way to solve a problem is to identify, then understand it. So it becomes easier to solve it. We're working to fix the areas identified in the report. Okay, I'm just going to stop there because what's the problem? You have traffic bosses who are making their juniors go out and get money to give it to you to put in your pockets. Don't you see the problem? I mean, come on.
Who's fooling who?
Come on. It wouldn't be clearer if the problem stood up and slapped you in the face.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there.
And you know, you wonder for how long. This is not the first time this is happening. For far too long, it's been going on. We've had so many traffic police being arrested. You know, I wonder whether they do face charges.
Interesting.
And then I'm asking the arresting arm, if they know that the seniors are the ones who have deployed their juniors to go and collect money on behalf, why not take appropriate action? You know, this publicity, I call them publicity stunts. They don't need to come and excite the masses that they're trying to do anything. IG, fix the road. Just fix the road. You know?
Let me ask you. I
Right.
keep giving my examples. When you have a problem, you feel sickly, something is growing on the side of your neck, you feel pain every now and then. When you go to the hospital, then it requires that you go to hospital, right?
Right.
Okay. The doctor looks at you, says, okay, let's do a scan audit. Do an audit. That's the scan now.
Yes.
We do a scan, we've checked, we've seen there's a problem here. In fact, this is the 4th scan that we have done. And we've seen this thing is the problem, and it's the one that's making you sick.
Yes.
It's the one that's causing headaches. It's the one that's causing weakness. It's the one that's causing you to lose weight. It's the one that's causing you to just have a general appearance of malaise. This thing. So they've done 4 scans, and they've said, you know what, Joe?
Right.
In order for you to get and feel better and operate optimally,
Yes.
we need to cut this thing out. When we cut it out, we will see that these problems will cease. Now, we will not cut it out and put it in a bowl somewhere and go and look at it tomorrow.
No.
We will cut it out in its entirety and we will destroy it.
Completely.
Abby, do they say, you know what? Let's cut half of it out, or how about we keep looking at this thing for a couple more months and see if it's going to actually react badly? No. The surgeon in the surgery ward
Yes.
cuts out the cancer. Cuts it out and destroys it. But here we are courting with disaster all the time. Courting disaster all the time and saying, yeah, okay, well, yeah, we've done an audit. What?
And hoping the patient will get well. How?
By looking at it.
How?
And talking about it.
Nah.
Yeah. That's what we do. That's what we do all the time. And imagine that the problem will just disappear because we're looking at it, talking about it, doing an audit, doing a scan, finish, sit down there. Guy is still bleeding to death. Country is bleeding to death, but we're looking at the problems, looking at them, and then your leg is about to be chopped off, but then we take a little elastoplast and we put it there and say, let's just hold on to that for a minute. Are you kidding me? What are you smoking? Give me some. Hey.
Sad.
It is.
The Star. Page 3. The caricature. It was the ODM and the cake. So many faces. I still cannot trace Caleb Amisi.
So he showed up somewhere yesterday.
In Mombasa.
Well, no, okay, not.
I need to know whether he was served cake by the older member, the founding member who cut the cake. Somebody find Caleb Amisi for us, because he said that Ruto was not going to serve him cake. Yeah. Interesting.
Very interesting. All right, can we look at one more story, a couple more before we go into it? So, this Marsabit story, again, we will continue to point these things out. And it is cryable, laughable, just all kinds of jokeable that we should have a situation now. You want to go to first world? You want to be in first world? Okay. You know what? At home, we turn on the tap with confidence, some people. At work, we approach the water dispenser certain that the commodity meant to quench our thirst will be readily available.
Yes.
However, in Marsabit County, the reality is starkly different. The search for water has become part of daily life. Wells have dried up, riverbeds lie bare, and women walk for hours under the scorching sun just to fill a few jerry cans. What many consider normal is an unimaginable struggle for the people of Marsabit. To understand this better, the team, this is Rosa Agutu's story, brilliant journalist, by the way. We traveled to witness the situation firsthand. From Marsabit town, we embarked on a 5-hour journey along a rough road to Dukana. Despite the harsh weather, we were sheltered in comfortable vehicles. But after running over hot, sharp stones for kilometers, one tire finally gave in, a flat. Once it was fixed, we continued for another hour to an area known as Saru. Along the way, we met a group of women heading to fetch water, their donkeys laden with empty jerry cans. One might assume they were walking to a borehole, dam, or piped water source, but no. Their destination was a shallow depression in the ground where water slowly seeps to the surface. Again, I will stop there. You can get a copy of the Standard and read the rest of the story. But as any good story does, is that in the intro, you have access to what the story is going to build into. There is water, Joe, seeping out of the ground. It is not a borehole. It is not a community tap, which you would have expected maybe the county government would have established since 2013. But that didn't happen when devolution began. With all the hundreds of billions of shillings that have been sent to counties over years, that has never happened. There is dirty water seeping from the ground. And that is what these women have walked for hours to go and try and get, to bathe, to cook, to drink. In Kenya, it's the same country, guys. It's not somewhere else.
Apparently, it's not the same country. It is not. Because if you look at the counties receive funds every year. There is an allocation of billions from the national government that is meant to go and facilitate the devolved functions. Agriculture, water, education, among others. Further to that, water is an essential commodity, you know. We even have SDG, I think it's SDG 6, that talks about clean water and sanitation. 5 or 6, thereabouts.
Yes, it is.
And they also give grants, direct grants, sometimes to even these counties because they are considered to be the hardship areas. So it is known that water must be provided. Water must be worked on, not just for humans, but even livestock. Because again, remember, these people, they rely heavily on the livestock for their own livelihood. So my question is, for the last 13 years, what has been the Marsabit, to be specific, the Marsabit County Development Plan?
You have to ask. But meanwhile, First World, we see you.
You know, First World is a mirage.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, we cannot be talking about
First
lack of
World, and then you're drinking water that's seeping out of the ground, some dirty water, parasite-infested water, and then you want to tell me that tomorrow we're heading toward this First World. Give me a freaking break. 7 a.m.
The latest news from around the world. 94.4.
This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Posted yesterday.